Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Spotless Stadium tonight. And just to let you know, coming up very, very soon. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to let you know that coming up very soon will be some magnificent woodchopping for you, woodchopping and soaring competition in the Men's International Relay Race 3 between Australia and New Zealand. And also we have the Sydney Royal Rodeo Series, All Stars Radio Round 2 tonight with the voice of Australian Radio, Glenn Morgan. Woodchopping and Chainsaw Relay Showcase at 7:30. Then following that will be a lovely presentation, and that is the Australian Wool Industry Showcase. We salute the Australian Wool Industry Showcase as well. And then three delightful young ladies will entertain you. They've got beautiful voices called Sass. Following that's Extreme Corruption. We have Mr. Boom. And Ian McDewey will be interested in that. He's come over from America, Mr. McDewey, and he hops into a box and puts some crackers in, a bit more than crackers, and he blows the box up, mate. And that's hence the name Mr. Boom. And Showtime Freestyle. Yes, so do I. Showtime Freestyle Motocross. Teams DMX, the precision driving team, the Isuzu Utes, and then we have the Flair Riders, and then fireworks finale tonight. So it's a great night of entertainment, so please stay with us. And, last night in the wood chopping, the big man himself was here too, and that was the one and only young David Foster, the world champion from down in Tasmania from the Upper Isle, Australia's world champion, legendary woodchopper David Foster. He said the team relished the task of taking on the team from across the ditch, New Zealand. And every time we've been cutting against New Zealand, it's fantastic. He's been doing it since 1979, said the woodchopping legend David Foster, who will be representing the Australian team in the single-handed Sora. So you stay and enjoy that. He loves it. He's passionate about it. He loves woodchopping. He's a great man. Does so much for charity too. So to he and his wife Jan, we really salute them. They're two wonderful Australians. They really are. And they're setting up everything down here for radio tonight as well. So sit back, relax, and enjoy some nice music. Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, if you've just joined us here in the Spotless Stadium, we'd like to remind you that woodchopping is coming up very soon. So it's a Sydney Royal Woodchopping and Soaring competition. So come and join us, the international relay between Australia and New Zealand. And then we'll be going down to Rodeo tonight, the Sydney Royal Rodeo Series, the All-Stars Rodeo Round 2. And to all our very special guests that have been invited here tonight, on behalf of Mr. Robert Ryan, OAM, the President of the Royal Agricultural Society of New South Wales, we do say a very warm welcome to you on behalf of Mr. Ryan and his fellow councillors, and also Mr. Michael Kenny and all the staff and all the volunteers that do such a wonderful job. So we just hope you have a fantastic night tonight. There's a lot of entertainment coming your way, so grab the best seat in the house, sit down, relax, and enjoy all the wood chopping and everything's coming your way very soon. In the meantime, here's some nice music in the Spotless Stadium. Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, I just want to ask, do we have any guests here from New Zealand tonight? Put your hands up and give us a wave, please. Any guests from New Zealand tonight in the stadium? Well, it's a great welcome. It's a very warm welcome to you all. Do we have any guests from Australia tonight? Put up your hands. Come on, give us a wave. All those Australians. Come on, Aussies. Where are you out there? 1, 2, 3. Boy, oh boy. The rest from England, are they? And once again, I'm just going to ask, who's from New Zealand tonight? Come on, give us a wave. There's a few over there in front of the Sinclair stand. Now, come on, Australia. Put your hands in the air. Give us a wave tonight, Australia. Ah, you're terrific. Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, very soon you're going to have a big opportunity to clap, stamp your feet, whistle cooey, because we have the best of the best here for wood chopping, and it's an Australian sport developed, in fact, in Tasmania in 1870 at Ulverston, Tasmania, and it won't be far away. Lindsay Parnell's with us tonight. Lindsay's a great friend and delightful gentleman. So we have New Zealand and Australia, and honestly, we really want you to get behind these axemen tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, would you please put your hands together for Mr. Lindsay Parnell. Thanks, Lindsay.
Thanks very much, Angus. Tonight we have a very serious race here on tonight because these teams, they've evened the score. We've had 2 tests out of the 3 test series, and Australia and New Zealand at the moment are 1-1. We had a terrific race here last night. We saw the lead change quite a few times throughout the event. And same in the first race. They're very evenly matched, and we're looking forward to a great finish tonight to see who comes out victorious of the 3 test series. I'd just like to introduce you to the axemen that are going to be involved in the event. So if the axemen could be at their blocks and give the crowd a wave. We've got the first axeman for New Zealand will be Jack Jordan in the underhand. Give him a wave, Jack. That's Jack Jordan to cut the underhand for New Zealand. Next to him will be his brother Shane Jordan to cut the first standing block for the team. Then we'll move up to the single-handed sawyer, David McDonald. Double-handed sawyers, Fave Cepho and Warren Riddle. And then the second underhand axeman will be Kyle Lemon. Kyle Lemon's the captain of the team, ladies and gentlemen. And to cut the final block, I've lost him. Where is he? We've got big Adam Lowe. Give him a brave, Adam. He's up here near the cameraman. So Adam's done terrific cuts out here in this arena. And of course, their manager, Terence Honick. Now we move across to the Australian team. First axeman will be Lawrence O'Toole on the underhand, followed by Dale Beams on the standing block. Then David Foster will take over on the single-handed sawing. Justin Beckett and Stephen Clark double-handed. Brent Reeves for the underhand. And their final block cutter tonight is Braden Meyer. Jamie Head and Glenn Gillam are the reserves, along with their manager here, Kerry Head. Okay, looks like the axemen, they're very keen to go. There's a bit of rain about, so we won't muck around tonight. We'll let them go. The manager's ready. We've got both teams ready to go. Best of luck, axemen. Axemen, stand your logs, get ready. Go. 1, 2, 3. So that's got them away to a very even start at the moment. We'll see who can get around first. And Lawrence O'Toole's around first tonight for the Aussies. Come on, cheer them along. They've got the Aussies here in the front. There must be a few New Zealanders, as Angus said, in the audience. Looks like the Aussies might take an early lead, but no, they're both away even. Kiwis are away with Shane Jordan in the block up against Dale Beams for Australia. Come on, cheer him along, ladies and gentlemen. Dale Beams, one of the best axemen in this country. He's up against Shane Jordan. They're round together. We've got a close race tonight. Come on, keep them going, ladies and gentlemen. Cheer them along. Let's hear it for the Aussies. Come on, Aussies. We've got New Zealand, they're closing in. It's going to be close once more. Very close finish here. And New Zealand, they're off together. That gets big Dave Foster away for Australia in a single saw. David McDonald sawing for New Zealand. Come on, let's get them Aussies. Come on, give them a hand here, Aussies. Remember, this is the deciding race. The double saw has taken over for New Zealand already. Fave Cepho and Warren Riddle got a bit of a lead. But we got Justin Beckett and Stephen Kirk trying to make up ground. The saw, they're away first. The Kiwis in their second underhand, closely followed by the Aussies. Kyle Lemon, great underhand cutter for New Zealand, up against Brent Smith for Australia. Come on, boys and girls, cheer them along. Aussies need a bit of help. We need a lead into the standing block. Come on, Aussies, get behind them. They need a bit of help. Kiwis have got a bit of a lead. He's coming home strong for the Australia. It's going to be anyone's race here when New Zealand's away first in the final block. Adam Lowe's away. Won't be long we get Braden Wise away for Australia. Come on, get behind him. It's the last block, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It's your last hope. Just depends who's got the softest block here now. Adam Lowe's around. And around comes Braden Meyer for Australia. Anything can happen, as we can see in the final block. Cheer him along, we need a bit of help. Come on, the Aussies need a bit of help, but Adam Lowe, he's having a bit of trouble and he drives off first for the Kiwis. So the Kiwis have gone 2-1. Okay, well, what do you think of that? A very close race there, but that puts New Zealand in front in the 3-test series. They've gone up 2-1 tonight. Well, I don't know if any can do the harker or not, but it's a bit late for that. Okay, they're a very happy bunch of fellas tonight, the Kiwis. Yep. Okay. Okay, they've come across the meet now and shake hands. They're great sports. It's always a great race between these two countries. Okay, they've all had a look at each other's blocks now. We'll ask them to line up, please, for the presentation. If you could just line up on the side you cut, Axman. Yeah, just for a second. Okay, we're out for the presentation to go here. To do the presentation tonight, we've got Mr. Adrian Howie, who is the RAS councillor, and of course Adrian's the CEO of the Woodchop section here for the RAS. So Adrian's about to present the ribbons to the New Zealand team. Okay, first of all, their captain, Kyle Lemon, to receive his ribbon, done a terrific cut in that underhand. Jack Jordan cut the first underhand, along with his brother, Shane Jordan. What a great turnout to have two brothers representing their country. David McDonald, their single-handed sawyer. Warren Riddle and Fave Sefo, their double-handed sawyers. And Adam Lowe cut that final block. And of course their managers there, Mr. Mulconic. Okay, congratulations to the Kiwis. How about we give them a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. They've done a terrific job over here this year. Now to Australia, Dale Beams. Cut a fine standing block tonight. Lawrence O'Toole, David Foster, Got Justin Beckett, Stephen Kirk, the double-handed Sawyers. Braden Meyer, Brent Rees. And we had 2 reserves tonight, Jamie Head and Glenn Gillum. And of course, their manager, Mr. Kerry Head. Okay, I'd just like to ask the New Zealand captain, say a few words.
Yeah, thank you very much. Firstly, big thanks to my guys in the New Zealand team. Fantastic job. We come over last year. We had it up against us. We won the series. We come back this year. Uncharted waters for us. I think we've only had 5 series wins in about 30 odd years. So tremendous effort, guys. Well done. To the Australians, Dale and his crew, thank you very much. Great effort. You come back, you got us in the second series, and some of the logs were challenging. Not sure of the choice of words for that. To the RAS and all those that are responsible for putting the wood chopping on, thank you very much. To our supporters, our ring crew over there that helped us out, got our axes and all that sort of stuff and set the stands up, thank you very much, guys. And to all the crowd, especially our supporters in New Zealand and the crowd here, thank you very much.
Thank you, Kyle. Excellent. We'll hand over now to the Australian captain, Dale Beams.
Yeah, thanks, Lindsay. Firstly, just congratulations to the Kiwi boys. Good, strong job. Young team, and they're going quite well. To my boys, well done, good effort. We picked them up in the second round when it was hard, and the wood was probably a little bit good tonight, and they snuck away on us. Congratulate all the people that's responsible. Congratulate all the public that's come along and watched us. And big thanks to RAS, and congratulations, Kiwis. Thank you.
Okay, excellent, Dale. Thank you. How about we give one big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for all the axemen. Done a terrific job from both countries. And don't forget, we're non-stop entertainment in the Woodchop Arena for the rest of the show. So let's give them a big round of applause as they leave the arena, please.
Well, thank you very much, Lindsay Parnell. So come on, Australia, put your hands together. Give New Zealand a big round of applause tonight. And the Australian team too. You know, if I simply said this to all the Australians out there and just said, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. All gone quiet. Now, come on. For all the Australian team, come on, Australia. Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. Yeah. Well, congratulations to them. And how about that big champ, the world champion, David Foster? Good on you, David. To you and Jan, it's always lovely to see you, mate. Does a tremendous amount for charity, so put your hands together for the big world champ. Give him a big round of applause. He leaves the arena. And how about a big round of applause? Come on, Australia. Please, everyone around the arena, put your hands together for New Zealand. Give New Zealand a big round of applause as they leave the arena tonight. They certainly are super guys. It's great to have them over here. And thank you to Councillor Howe and all those involved in wood chopping for the presentation tonight. Well, just while they're clearing up the arena, we'll take a special message from our sponsors in the Spotless Stadium. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome back to the Spotless Stadium. If you look at the big screen, ladies and gentlemen, here's a very special presentation just showcasing the Australian wool industry.
Yes, good, my friend. Yeah, not too bad. All's good. We'll be right to go right on 6:30, I believe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, we love to pay tribute to the magnificent Australian wool industry showcase. And I'd just like to dedicate this poem to those beautiful people you've seen, all the families that produce the wool and the fleeces and the magnificent merino sheep and the other breeds of sheep in Australia. It's called the Golden Fleece. Our great country's best known icon is a large, majestic sheep, and it's something, as an Aussie, I'm sure, we'll always keep. The strength there in his nature that everyone can see has brought wealth and many fortunes to man and industry. And the product he produces is the best part of his tale, for it will keep you warm and snug in an icy Arctic gale. For it travels right around the globe to countries great and small to make it possible for man to live where there is no life at all. As for sheep farmers across our country, you've never met a better crew, and part of the backbone of our nation, Dinkum Aussies through and through. Just filled with self-reliance, nothing can ever keep them down, with the highlight of their existence a 2-weekly trip to town. Those folk never think of quitting, though a drought is a long, hard haul. They bring their woolly charges through till grass is green and tall. Wool has been Australia's past, and its futures will increase, to ensure our country will always be the land of the golden fleece. And ladies and gentlemen, that was written by Mr. Bruce Walker. I'd love you to put your hands together for the wool producers of Australia. Come on, everyone. Come on, New South Wales. Come on, Australia. You give them all a big, big round of applause. There's many country people here tonight, and they're with you, mingled amongst the crowd here tonight, ready to enjoy the entertainment coming your way very soon with the magnificent Rodeo, which won't be far away at all, with the voice of radio throughout Australia, Mr. Glenn Morgan. So please stay and enjoy that. And then we also have the Australian Wool Industry Showcase, Woodchopping and Chainsaw Relay Showcase as well. We have 3 delightful young ladies to entertain you tonight called SAS. Then following their presentation will be Extreme Corruption. And that's Mr. Boom. We have the Showtime FMX Freestyle Motocross. Also the Team DMAX Team D-Max and the Isuzu Utes. And then we have also the Flare Riders tonight as part of that. Then the magnificent fireworks finale. So sit back, relax, and Mr. Glenn Morgan will introduce him to you very, very soon. Well, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, coming up very soon will be the magnificent Sydney Royal Rodeo Series, the All-Stars Rodeo Round 2. And then following that will be the magnificent Woodchopping and Chainsaw Relay Showcase. And then the tribute to the Australian Wool Industry Showcase. You have more entertainment. You have 3 delightful young ladies who will entertain you with 3 magnificent voices tonight. They really do light up the stadium here. They're called SAS. And then there's the magnificent Extreme Corruption tonight with Mr. Boom, Showtime FMX Freestyle Motocross, the D-Max Precision Driving Team, and the Flare Riders. And then following all that will be the magnificent fireworks finale tonight. So during the fireworks finale, girls and boys, mums and dads, you know, take your phones out. You all have a torch in your phone. Why don't you just hit the torch button on your phone and light up the arena, put your hands in the air, light this magnificent stadium tonight. Just have a great time, because that's what it's all about. It's all about families. It's all about you and I coming to the magnificent Sydney Royal Easter Show, the greatest show on earth, and just having a fabulous time. So please stay with us. It won't be far away, and you'll see this magnificent, well, the Young Guns, the radio. They're coming up very, very soon, and with Glenn Morgan. And we'd like to say a very special thank you also to all the guys and the girls. Thank you to Linnell Smith, who's in charge of entertainment for the show, and everyone, all the staff, all the guys in the blue shirts that look after the stadium, and everyone around the arena. So you'll enjoy tonight. And the camera crew down there, we've got, I think, Simon down there, and also we have James down there tonight. And Ian and Frenchie, yeah, they'll keep you informed, the boys. Oh, Frenchie, okay, Reggie tonight. I apologise, Reg. But look, they really do a magnificent job, these camera guys, and you'll see the best of the best tonight. They'll have the close-ups for you. And can I just say to you all, please, don't forget to go and see the district exhibits this year, because this year they pay tribute to the men and women, the families, the brothers, the sisters, the husbands, the wives, many of them that lost their lives back 100 years ago, and many of them, of course, are related to yourselves, grandparents, great-grandfathers and mothers, etc., and aunties and uncles, as I said, members of the family that gave up their lives so that you and I can enjoy the freedom that we have in Australia today. We pay tribute to the Anzacs, and the district exhibits have gone out of their way this year to celebrate, not celebrate, to pay tribute to the wonderful men and women, as I said, the families of Australia and the Defence Forces of Australia. It's just marvellous to go and see the district exhibits over there with the Southeast Queensland, Northern New South Wales, Central New South Wales, the Western Districts of New South Wales, and Southern New South Wales. So to all those wonderful people, if you're here tonight from any of those regions, we welcome you tonight. And you certainly have a magnificent state, your beautiful state of New South Wales. In fact, it has the biggest number of shows of any state of Australia, New South Wales. So congratulations. You really do provide some wonderful entertainment and, well, all the showpieces and all the produce and all the food from the farmers and the graziers and whatever you do. When you go to Woolworths, the fresh food people, or you go to whatever outlet may be, just remember every family needs a farmer, and every farmer needs a family to buy that wonderful produce that the Australian producers grow for you and produce for you as well. So sit back, relax in the Spotless Stadium tonight, girls and boys. Welcome to you all. All the girls and boys here tonight that are here with mums and dads. Hey, give us a wave. Come on, kids. Yeah, put your hands in the air. Give us a wave tonight. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 or 4 out along the fence there, so I hope you have a great night tonight. And I know it's a spectacular radio coming your way very soon. And radio's been very much to the fore. It's been a great feature of the Royal Easter Show for 2015, and that continues right throughout the show. Don't forget to, if you're out here later on the week, we'll be having another grand parade. You'll see all the dairy cattle as well, which will be a showcase here in the Spotless Stadium. Big show dumping program still to come with our junior show dumping riders, the young riders, and there's so much for you to enjoy and see. Tell mum and dad to come back and bring you back to the show. So, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, I'd like you to take a big, deep breath. You can scream, yell, clap your hands, stamp your feet. We don't mind. But you please welcome tonight in the Spotless Stadium, the voice of radio in Australia. Please give a big, warm welcome to Mr. Glenn Morgan.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, welcome tonight to the Spotless Arena for the second and final round of the All-Stars Rodeo Challenge between the leading cowboys and cowgirls of both New Zealand and Australia. For the last 2 nights of competition, it is all about the individual champions of the 2 nations. Last night saw some incredible rides with scores high as 86 points in the Bull Riding Championship, and that was scored by the Western Australian Bull Riding Champion. The bareback riding taken out, of course, by a young 20-year-old cowboy from Camden. It's going to be action-packed, it's going to be exciting, and tonight we will present the championship individual ribbons to the winners of the 5 categories. We start with the bareback bronc riding, we go down to the steer wrestling, saddle bronc riding, ladies barrel racing, and we wrap it up with the most dangerous sport in the world, the sport of bull riding competition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's give the Cowboys a big warm welcome to Sydney. Come on, folks, let's make a little noise. We're going to have some fun here in the Spotless Arena with our first event on the program, the Balance Ride of Competition. Known as the Suicide Ride, we welcome into the arena, first and foremost, the pickup riders, the horsemen, the R.M. Williams brothers from the Horton Valley of New South Wales, Peter and David Kelly. Now, our first contestant here tonight in the bareback bronc riding competition is from Outram, New Zealand champion. This is Joe Fentiman. He was the second highest score last night in the individual championship with 74 points. Tonight, it's Black Andrew from the Fitzsimmons brothers. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the height, the elevation, the altitude. It all comes together for the New Zealand champion. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible start, and the size of that particular horse. Well, this young man's had a tough week here in Sydney. He rode for 5 nights in the International Series for his homeland. Hey, Sydney, let's put our hands together for his efforts here tonight. That is Joe Fentiman, the 26-year-old farmhand contractor. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the score comes through from our officials in the bareback bronc riding. The 2 judges here tonight are Mr. Mark Palmer and Mark Gibb, former Australian champions, 2 of the most respected and highly decorated judges in the sport of Australian rodeo competition. Their scoring system broken into 2 equal components when it comes to the overall total score. 1 to 25 points for the livestock, 1 to 25 points for the Cowboys' riding style and coordination. Add the 2 scores together for a grand total of 100 points. Well, tonight, ladies and gentlemen, the scores come through. 72 points for the New Zealand champion, Joe Fentiman, with a 74 in the first round. That's 146 points. Well, our next competitor is a 22-year-old cowboy from Rodeo on the South Island of New Zealand. He was our 2013 New Zealand rookie bareback riding champion, Tom Pluckett, and the horse called Diva Time. Well, another of the great horses from the Fitzsimmons Brothers Rodeo Company. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for the boy from Rodeo, New Zealand Rookie of the Year, Tom Plunkett. Well, it's a little disappointing, and this challenge is all about giving the young guns an opportunity to take on the nation's best. Let's watch this on the big screen. This horse circled back, failed to keep square up in his bareback riding rigging. His left foot failed to get holts, and of course, launched him into orbit, brought him down to the arena before the 8-second whistle, and a no score from our judges for the New Zealand Rookie of the Year, Tom Pluckett. Well, our pickup riders here tonight, Peter and David Kelly, really have their hands full, and their job is to catch each one of these competitors, get them safely to the ground. But the second task they perform is that they must catch and secure that horse, get him back to the unsaddling enclosure. Their second-generation horseman, their dad, Bill Kelly, picked up here through the 70s, 80s and 90s. And it has been the next generation of the Kelly boys that continue on as icons in our sport of Australian rodeo competition. Some of these horses performing here tonight for the first time and probably just not that familiar with the surroundings of our rodeo arena, where the catch pen gates are, where the enclosures are. And of course, once we get the bearings, we will then take them back to that unsaddling enclosure. Hey folks, what about a round of applause for two of Australia's finest horsemen in Peter and David Kelly? Well, let's go down to an Australian professional High Point Pro Tour bareback riding champion. This is Wade Clifford. Well, he was probably the highest ranked bareback rider coming into the All-Star Series last night. He was bucked off in the opening round, which took him out of the aggregate. But I can assure you, he'll look to make amends here tonight. He's one of the Pro Tour directors, Chastity. Wade Clifford, in the prime of his life, in the bareback bronc riding competition. Little horse generally starts that spurring action from the point of the shoulder right through, lays back. Hey, look at this. Oh, well, there may have been a breach of the riding rules. Oh, look and wait from the judges ruling here today. And as you can understand, these guys have endured a lot of pain over the last few days of competition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is disappointing for our Malali New South Wales Pro Tour champion. Folks, he's on the ground, and his only rewards here tonight will be the applause from you as our spectators. A little disappointing, and a no score as he reached down what we described in the bareback bronc riding as a double halt and a no score. Well, let's draw your attention down to the next competitor in our competition this time. Here's a young man, 23 years of age, from Rockhampton, North Queensland, Brodie Adams. He was the 2012 Central Queensland Rookie Bareback Riding Champion. The horse that he's drawn, it's Cotton Candy time. Well, this young boy from North Queensland took a no score in the first round. But the locks are flopping and the Cowboys are riding, ladies and gentlemen, from Rockhampton, Queensland. Well, oh well, that little horse took it to him. Ladies and gentlemen, his first time to the Sydney Royal Easter Show, it was Brodie Adams, the 23-year-old rookie champion from Rockhampton, Queensland. Well, you can see by the look of his face, you watch the back of his neck in this event. Watch the big screen as his neck and his upper body gets flopped around like a rag doll as this big horse kicks steep behind. Man, the neck brace takes all of the power and all the pain. 34. Well, the numbers are 70 points in this round of our competition into second place in the round. 70 points it was that time. Brodie Adams, second place in our go round of the bareback bronc riding competition, 70 points. Well, as we draw your attention to Lismore, in the Northern Rivers of New South Wales, 25 years of age. Here's one of the flamboyant, action-packed bareback riding competitors from New South Wales, Cohen Collins. Works as a fencing contractor. Took a no score, was bucked off in the opening round of our competition last night. 3-4. It's time to rear up and ride hard. Big, strong, powerful horse gets to jumping and kicking. The Lismore Cowboy hanging on for all might and all power. Well, it got a little tough around the corner. Ladies and gentlemen, it is the 7th night of rodeo competition. These guys have endured a lot of pain, and I'd like you to put your hands together for their efforts here tonight from Lismore, Cohen Collins. $65.65. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're down for a young man riding for his first ever major championship. This young boy's from Mossvale, just south of Sydney, Harry Ash, 20 years of age. Only 2 weeks ago was crowned the Southern States Bareback Riding Champion of 2015. Tonight, this young man leads the individual competition from last night's round. We could nearly call him a local competitor from Mossvale. Later this year, he has secured a college introduction to Odessa, Texas for the Mossvale, New South Wales champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what about the Fitzsimmons brothers of Branxton and Black Hawk? Come on, Sydney, let's put our hands together for his efforts here tonight. There is no place for the faint-hearted in this competition. Watch this on the big screen. This horse got him off his riding rigging, launched him into the ground. Ladies and gentlemen, that is bareback bronc riding at its very best here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just before we go to our next event here tonight, just hold on for a moment because we have got the winner of the bareback bronc riding competition as we just make a very special presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call to the main arena the winner of the individual championship, the All-Stars for 2015. Ladies and gentlemen, he's all the way from Outram, New Zealand. How about a big warm welcome for our neighbours? Joe Fettyman, New Zealand, an All-Stars champion at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Congratulations, Joe, on a very, very exciting championship round. What's it feel like to come here to Sydney and win a major event such as the All-Stars Series?
It's been an absolute pleasure to be here, and I've had so much fun and love getting on all these horses, and everyone's been really good to us, so just really rapt to be here.
Well, there you go, folks. You heard it from a truly unique New Zealand champion. How about a big Sydney round of applause for him one more time? The All-Stars bareback champion of the Sydney Royal Easter Show was Joe Fettyman. Well, we're going to go with the All-Stars Steer Wrestling Challenge. Two competitors, Glenn Chafe, the 2013 Steer Wrestling Champion of Australia, takes on the National All-Round Champion, Cowboy Heath Nichols. Heath was second fastest last night with a 5.9. He's on the northern side of our arena. Glenn Chafe from Walgett, he's on the southern side of the Martin and Angus stand. Now, in this event, competitors ride from a light system. Watch the lights. You'll see red, amber and green. Green lights are on. Cowboys are on at centre stage. Heath Nichols from Scone, New South Wales. Oh, what about the all-round champion, Cowboy of Australia? Ladies and gentlemen, that is Heath Nichols from Scone, New South Wales. Continues on with a great time in steer wrestling. Remember, he was second fastest last night with a time of 5.9. Well, we've got a time of 5 seconds neat for Heath Nichols over 2 rounds. That's a 10.9 and a 7.2 for Glenn Chafe. That'll put him into second place in our round of the competition. Well, as we pack the steers back off the arena, we get the competitors to change horses. The livestock used in this event, generally the Australian quarter horses. They're unique to our sport of rodeo competition. They've got a very heavily muscled appearance. Hence their name applies. The Australian quarter horse are the fastest horses on earth, over 250 metres. Well, our next match up here tonight is Jake Roots, the 2014 Steer Wrestling Rookie of the Year. Takes on the New Zealand champion Richie Morrow from Alexandria. Richie was the 2013-2014 Steer Wrestling Champion of New Zealand. He won the individual competition last night with a time of 4-3. New Zealand, well, unfortunately, we had one steer hang a little tough, and we've got a time down for Jake Roots in our competition. Well, that's unfortunate, but that is the way that it goes in this round of our competition. Steer got caught. No time for Richie Morrow. 6.9 for Jake Roots, a time of 6.9. No time for Richie Morrow. That's a little disappointing, and a no time for the two-time New Zealand champion. Well, from this event, we'll go to the saddle bronc riding, barrel racing, and the bull riding competition. And it's going to be a real showdown for the next 3 rounds of our particular competition. Just a reminder to all of the lovely folk here at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, tomorrow night sees the first of our 6 rounds of the State of Origin between New South Wales and Queensland. The 6 final nights of the Sydney Royal Easter Show over Easter weekend is always massive. Well, on our southern side on the Martin and Angus stand is the man that's the current Australian steer wrestling champion. Jockbone Langdon from Singleton takes on the North Queensland champion of 2014, Riley Gibb of Charters Towers. Riley's a second-generation champion of that state. He has surpassed the records of many at a very young and tender age. Gates are back, Queensland's out, New South Wales, Australia champ. Oh, what about Jockbone Langdon? Ladies and gentlemen, 2 great up-and-coming Australian champions. Jockbone Langdon, Riley Gibb. We'll check the times and the official place getters. Had a time of 5.6 for Jockbone, 5.6 for Jockbone Langdon, 5 and 6. And an 8.09, 8.09 for Riley Gibb, 8.09. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I've just had confirmation here tonight of our steer wrestling champion of the All-Stars Series for 2015 at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. He's a former Australian champion of this nation in 2013, and I'd like you to welcome into the main arena here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, an incredible young man, Heath Nichols from Scone in New South Wales. Well, congratulations, Heath, the championship of the All-Stars. Been a great series so far, but tell me, last year, pretty solid year throughout the season, the all-round champion in 2013. What are your plans for 2015?
Yeah, last year I had a good year. We did a lot of rodeos and had a heap of fun. This year we're going to go down the road, have some fun and see where we end up at the end of the year.
Well, there it is, folks. Put your hands together for him. Scone, New South Wales. He's our All-Stars champion of the Sydney Royal Easter Show competition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, bear down, get a great vantage point as we get set to go with our next event in the competition tonight. This is saddle bronc riding. Hey, you'll love this event. And the first contestant out from the Devondale Station, Bingra, is Mitch Steger. He was equal second in the opening round with 73 points at Shaz from the Fitzsimmons brothers. Well, it's slow to start, but watch when he does, folks. Look at the champion, 2004 Australian champion, and Mitch Steger has opened up with a classic stylish ride. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the efforts of the Bingra, Northern New South Wales former national champion. And what a great way to proceed our saddle bronc riding competition. Well, we watched this on the big screen. Horse took a little run momentarily. Took a few moments to get that synchronized spurring action and timing coordinated. The judges have the task now to put scores together, and numbers will come through for Mitchell Steger. Well, the scores come through. 75 points for Mitch Steger, 75 in our competition, 75. Well, that gives him 148 points over the 2 rounds, 148 points. Well, we're going to go to the New Zealand champion, Ramon Niho from Kaitia, South Island champion. He was a 2014 New Zealand national event winner in this competition. Every which way but loose. from the Fitzsimmons brothers. Hey, this is a big stud horse, part of their breeding program in the mountain country of New South Wales. Hey, he's big, he's strong, he's tough, and the Kiwi champion trying to expose a weakness, but not tonight. He's going to try and do the inevitable. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll wait for the official scores and judges on that one. Too close to call. There was a little air, there was a little altitude. Ramon Niho really had to work overtime to be there. But look at the height of that horse when he launched himself into orbit outside of that chute here tonight. 69 from the official, 69 points. And you can see there was a lot of daylight, a lot of air between that ride and the competition. 69 points. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to get a great vantage point as we get set to go with one of Australia's truly professional saddle bronc riders. This time we're going to go with a young man called Rhys England. 2006, 2009 and 2011 Australian professional champion. Rhys is one of three brothers for the famous England family. Great horseman, natural horseman, and he takes on Steely Dan. Now, Rhys was the highest individual score last night in the saddle bronc riding to top the round with 78 points. Mitchell Steger has taken the overall lead in the competition at this point of time. Well, just having a little time to get him set. Rhys England, well, he is certainly going to take all the precautionary time that's necessary. Stay glued to your seats, folks. It's Steely Dan time. Well, he looks, waits, anticipates. Well, as you can understand, sometimes things just don't go as you would like in our sport of rodeo competition. Sometimes it happens in the racing industry. Horse is the short pace favourite, just doesn't always start as one would like. Well, we'll just have to give him one more opportunity. We might just move him down a little, give him a few moments to reassess and evaluate the situation. We might come down. Give Rhys a few more moments to set his equipment and get his gear set. We might come down to Tyrell Smith. Tyrell Smith is from Waroona, Western Australia. And as our All-Stars competition, competitors are from both New Zealand and Australia, the North Queensland champion, the Western Australian champion, and our Southern States champion take on the cream and the might of Australia's best rodeo competitors. Tyrell Smith won the Western Australian Championship in 2014. The horse that he's drawn from the Fitzsimmons brothers, this is Road Open time. Well, this little Appaloosa horse generally gives a great accountance of himself, the young man looking to score high points throughout that period. Well, it gets a little loose out there. Boy, there was a little daylight towards the end of the ride. Ladies and gentlemen, he travelled across the Nullarbor Plain to be here this week. Let's put our hands together for him. Tyrell Smith, Western Australia. Made it back to the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Last night, he qualified in the event with a score of 65 points. You want to go with him if he's going to play up or not? Doesn't worry me. Is it going to be better? They're ready here. How many? 34. 69 points it was, 69. Well, let's move on down to our next competitor in the competition. All eyes are glued as our pickup riders once again take up their position. Our next competitor is for a property called Stroud in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales, Ben Matum. Well, this young man lived in Ontario, Canada in 2014. He was the International Professional Rookie of the Year in saddle bronc riding competition. And tonight, he takes on small event from the Fitzsimmons Brothers Rodeo Company. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is one of the real tough horses of this weekend's competition. He was a high score down at the Braidwood Rodeo two weeks ago, but not tonight. Well, we'll watch this on the big screen. Ben just pulled his feet a little too quick, tended to pull a little on his bucking rein. He got out of shape, and it was a great horse from the Fitzsimmons brothers called Small Event Time. Well, as we get set to come down to our next competitor in the competition here tonight, we're going to get set to go with a young man called Tom Knight. Well, this young man lives on a property called Sunshine at Gunnedah in northwest New South Wales. He comes from a very successful camp draft and horsemanship family. Tommy Knight was our 2014 Rookie of the Year in Saddlebronc riding competition. Tells me earlier this week that he's off to the United States of America on the 1st of May to once again follow his ambitions. Well, let's see what he does in this round. The boy from Gunnedah, New South Wales, and it looks good, ladies and gentlemen. Tommy Knight makes that 8-second whistle. Tall's over 6'2" tall in the competition. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for all of our cowboys here in this night's competition, particularly Tommy Knight. Well, serious contender for the overall championship. Well, the numbers come through for the Gunnedah champion tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Equal top score in the round, 75 points for Gunnedah, New South Wales, 75. Well, we'll come down. We'll give him one more opportunity here tonight. We're still waiting with anticipation for the Wantabadgery three-time national professional champion of Australia, Reese Anglin. Steely Dan time. Let's do it. Reese Anglin. Ladies and gentlemen, look at the style. Look at the coordination. He's one of Australia's greatest from the famous Anglin family. Well, what an effort, ladies and gentlemen. He comes to us with a great reputation. Well, we'll check numbers from the officials here tonight. Well, let's just watch this on the big screen, ladies and gentlemen. Held his feet nicely. This horse really got some elevation. Look at the height, the extended action. Man got a little rough there towards the end of the ride, but the experience shone through. Well, hey, Reese, took a little time to get that one out of the chute. Did he try and break your concentration a little? Didn't try and intimidate you too much?
Nah, horses like that, they're very smart. Them bucking horses, like any horse in the sport, they wise up to it. And yeah, that horse is a phenomenal horse. I was rapt to have him, and yeah, thanks.
Well, I tell you what, it must be a little special here tonight because I know your dad was a great champion of a professional rodeo back in the 70s and 80s, and to have your dad up here this weekend with you in Sydney must be a pretty special occasion because he doesn't get to too many more, and to see him watch you win the All-Stars Championship tonight, ladies and gentlemen, 78 points must be pleasing.
Yeah, mate, it's right. You know, you come and ride against the best boys, and yeah, no, it's a bloody good deal just to come and get on these good horses, and especially in the crowd here at Sydney Show. I really pushed to try and get here this year because it's turned into a huge, great event. So, yeah, thanks for having me, Sydney.
Well, let's hear it for him, ladies and gentlemen. Your Australian All-Stars champion from Wantabadgery, New South Wales, Reese Anglin, with a 78-point score. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting set to go with the ladies' barrel racing competition here tonight. This is the Dual Championship of Australia, representing two times national champion Bianca Hurdle from Coonamble. She's on the southern side, riding her superstar horse called Cash. She won the round last night with a 17.2 seconds. She takes on our Victorian champion from Albury, Marie Oddie. Well, it's the national champion. She's out early. What a race. She's hit the first barrel. She's around the second nicely. The Albury Victorian champion's right on her heels. Ladies and gentlemen, can now she... Oh, no! She has taken down a barrel. That's going to be 5-second penalty to the current Australian champion. That is going to be a little disappointing here tonight. I'll check from the officials. Had it wrapped up nicely. Well, had a 16.5 plus 5 for Bianca Hurdle. 16.5 plus 5. 17.09, all clear, no penalties for Marie Oddie. 17.09, no penalties for Marie Oddie. Well, let's go to our next matchup in the competition. Brianna Lemont, 2014 National Rookie Barrel Racing Champion. Makes a home in the country music capital of Tamworth. Rides a beautiful big grey horse called the Cowboy Rock. She takes on the Southern Zone champion cowgirl, Courtney McKinley from Braidwood. Courtney rides the big Palomino horse. She gets out a little quick. She's around that first turn. Okay, it is Brianna Lemont around the second. They wind up now. They've separated. Boy, there's a little catch-up time. Has presented itself, Brianna. They turn as one. Oh, no. There's once again the girls are not having the best of luck. There will be a penalty once again to Brianna Lemont, the Tamworth cowgirl. A 5-second penalty. 19.5 plus 5 for Brianna. 19.5 plus 5. 19.7 it was for Courtney. 19.7. Well, the final matchup in the competition, we look down. It will be our young lady from Camden. 19 years of age, Hayley Hill on a little buckskin horse called Richie. She takes on Liz McKinley from Willow Tree, New South Wales, riding her first cross-quarter horse called Doc. Well, there'll be a penalty on one of those girls. It looks like it's going to be young Hayley Hill's got a little ground to take up, but unfortunately there was a 5-second penalty. The one girl did break the barriers. Get to that final turn, and it looks like it's going to be a race to the finish line. Hayley Hill and Liz McKinley. Well, I've just had a call from our official judge. Even though Liz was the first girl across the line, she will pick up a penalty of 5 seconds. 17.8 it was for Hayley. 17.8 for Hayley. Well, we'll just check the other side. Of course, that was indeed Liz McKinley. Had a 16.4 for Liz, plus 5. 16.4 plus 5. Well, that is a great way to wrap the barrel racing up. There was more barrels knocked down tonight than there was in any other competition. Well, ladies and gentlemen, our winner of the All-Stars Barrel Racing Championship here tonight, she makes a home in Camden. She's 19 years of age. She rides a beautiful little buckskin horse called Richie. Ladies and gentlemen, it's her first ever major win at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Come on, Sydney, she's one of your girls from Camden, New South Wales, Hayley Hill. Well, congratulations, Hayley. Hasn't it been a great series? And your little buckskin horse just keeps turning up, doesn't he?
It's been amazing, and yeah, he's just impressed me so much.
He handles the lights, he handles the pressure, and we saw tonight in the final, some of those girls broke barriers, knocked barrels, but little Richie kept turning up, didn't he?
Yeah, he always does. He never lets me down.
Well, congratulations. Her first ever win at the Sydney Royal Easter Show, ladies and gentlemen. Big round of applause for her. She's from Camden. She's only 19 years of age, and you hear a lot more of her in the years to come. Well, as we get ready for our next event here tonight, there are two men that I'd like to welcome into the arena. They're called our Life-Saving Protection Clowns. Let's welcome in Lincoln Brown and Warren Norton. Well, hey, listen, wasn't the bull riding something special last night, Lincoln? Those big bulls, massive horns, and 2 scores out of 6, that was pretty good.
Yeah, mate, it was good. It was. The boys, they humped up and got them rode a bit. And, you know, them bulls did buck and they intimidated them boys a bit, but they put it behind them and got the job done.
They certainly did. And with you tonight, of course, Warren Norton. Warren, tonight should be an exceptional round of bulls. We've got Jason O'Hearn back, Chris Lowe, Fraser Babington. They're probably three of Australia's biggest professional bull riding contestants.
Yeah, that's right, Glenn. You know, they've brought in some fresh bulls tonight, you know, and they're all little balls of muscle. And, yeah, hopefully the boys tonight can stick it on them.
Well, the best of luck, guys. I know you fellas will do a great job, folks. They are incredible, those guys in the arena. Lincoln Brown and Warren Norton will face off with each one of these competitors. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, are you ready for some bull riding? Hey, listen. It's the first day of the school holidays. You've got a week or two off now. We've got 4 more days of the Easter weekend. It's time to get rowdy. It's time to make a little noise. Where's all those school kids? Are you ready for bull riding? Well, we're getting set to go with our first contestant in the bull riding competition here tonight. This is Chris Lowe, affectionately known as Freddie. Now, the bull that he's drawn in this round of the competition, it is Red John. He was the 2013 Australian Professional Bull Riding Champion of the nation. Are we going to start with a high score and a great ride? What a recovery! This guy is an unbelievable athlete. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can assure you it never, ever gets any better than that. That is amazing, and it's the Fitzsimmons brothers from Brankston that bring us the bulls for this round of the competition. Let's watch that on the big screen. Let's watch the replay of Chris Lowe before we go to the... He gave him a bad start. He got him right on his arm from the onset. Lost a foot, got back up. He looked in control. Then once again, the momentum, the centrifugal force launched him back to the ground. A no score for our first contestant out, Chris Lowe. Well, let's go to Braidwood for the 2015 Southern States Bull Riding Champion. 29 years of age, this is Tim Amy. Well, last night he bucked off in the opening round of the competition. Hard edges. Well, they can't come any harder than Red John. Let's see what we do tonight for the Braidwood Southern Zone Champion. Well, it did not look good. As I said, these bulls are here doing an amazing job. And once again, Cowboys are struggling to keep up to the pressure. And we've got to commend our livestock producers, and these bulls are brought to us here tonight by the 5th generation Fitzsimmons brothers of Brankston. And don't they do a brilliant job? The team of Wayne, Brad Fong, Robbo Fitzsimmons. We're going to come down to the next of our competitors. This time from Tamworth, New South Wales. This is Jason O'Hearn. Now, Jason is somewhat in the prime of his life when it comes to bull riding. He's just turned 35 years of age. He was the 2004 Australian Professional Bull Riding Champion. In 2005, he won the Sudden Death Canadian Finals in Canada. Sunset Boulevard. Now remember, this guy, he is one of the elite group of professional bull riders Australia's ever produced. He's looking to go back-to-back and be a qualified score tonight. Let's wish him well. He gets out around that first corner, takes him off his pockets. He's up a body weight, shifted the momentum, got to the outside of the spin, could not stay there, could not endure the centrifugal downward pressures that came with the bull riding competition. Well, unbelievable. We've had some 3 out yet to get a qualified score of the competition so far here tonight. And as you can understand, it's necessary to remove the bulls from the arena at the conclusion of each ride. It is a safety aspect. The idea is to ensure the safety and well-being of each of the riders. Should any one of these competitors be in the arena at a time, 2 or 3 bulls just becomes a little too much. Well, we're going to just try and get a couple of coaches, see if we can get him around there, try and get his attention. Sometimes it just takes a while when these new bulls come to the showground. It's a little different from the everyday working lifestyles of the regular rodeo arenas. And we'll just try and get his bearings sorted, give him an understanding of where the Cat's Pen gate is and where his friends may be. Gates are back. Cattle away. We're set to go, ladies and gentlemen. Well, let's get set to go with our next competitor in our competition here tonight. This time right up in Collinsville, North Queensland, this will be Jake Plate. Jake is 20 years of age. He's a contract musterer in his part of the world. He was the 2013 Rookie of North Queensland. 2014, he went to the top. He was the state bull riding champion last season. Tonight, he takes Spirit, another of the Fitzsimmons brothers bulls bred in the Hunter Valley of New South Wales. Their property base is between Branxton and Singleton, and this is where the majority of these bulls live and are bred, specifically for the sport of professional rodeo here in Australia. And of course, they've taken centre stage here tonight at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Well, at this stage, no scores. Is it going to be this boy, this champion from Collinsville? He's getting around the corners. He once again gets down a little short of luck, a little too short of time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, please put your hands together for that young man. Well, we come down to the serious part of our program here tonight. 2 contestants remaining. 2 cowboys left on the page. Is there going to be a championship winner in this go-round? Well, let's get set to go with the first of them. He is a New Zealand bull riding champion. From Gisborne, this is Fraser Babington. He was the second highest scorer in the individual championship round last night with a score of 75 points. He was the most successful bull rider from Team New Zealand in the opening 5 nights of the Sydney Royal Easter Show. He's travelled and competed in every one of the major international sports stadiums in Australia on the professional bull riding tour. He will go through the preparation. The tools of the trade in this sport are quite simple. There's a loosely braided bull rope, a thin leather glove. The competitors have the optional extra, the opportunity to ride with a protective vest and helmet. Whether or not you're there for the 8 seconds, it is a true challenge. You learn to expect the unexpected in this sport. Nothing is guaranteed. Fraser Babington eases up. Well, we want a Sydney score on the board tonight. Fraser, let's see if we can do it for the people of Sydney. Hey, look at this Kiwi champion. Try, ladies and gentlemen, try, but he must. Well, Lincoln Brown moves in, the cowboy bullfighting clowns. Ladies and gentlemen, what about the work of your life-saving heroes here tonight? Man, Lincoln Brown launched his body, as did Warren Norton, the Kamikaze Cowboys. We'll check from the officials. He was down. Let's watch this on the big screen, ladies and gentlemen. This bull didn't have a tendency to kick with his hind feet. He was a little flat, but what he was fast. He was higher in the front end than the back end. That tends to slide you back off your bull riding rope. The centrifugal downward force, and Lincoln Brown, what a unbelievable save, and it was Warren Norton that pulled him to victory. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for our team here in the main arena. What an effort. These guys are amazing athletes. Lincoln Brown, Warren Norton. Well, we're going to come down to the last man in our competition here tonight. Well, folks, this is the guy that won the round last night. He's from a little property called Gin in Western Australia. Wade McCarthy was the 2014 ABCRA Bull Riding Champion of the Nation. He is by far the most successful bull rider in Western Australia. Wade McCarthy around the corners, gets him down. Well, once again, ladies and gentlemen, he set the trap, couldn't handle the corners, brought him down a little short. It's going to be a one-round victory in our bull riding competition here tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, probably was not the perfect finish that we had all hoped for here in the All-Stars Bull Riding Championship round. 6 incredible athletes, 6 men put their bodies on the line for the entertainment here tonight. But we're going to go on a count back to last night's highest individual score, and the champion of day number 1 in the All-Star Series from Gin Gin, Western Australia. Let's welcome to Sydney, Wade McCarthy. Well, congratulations first and foremost, Wade, to the championship of the All-Stars for 2015 at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. But that round of bulls, they were just something exceptional from the Fitzsimmons brothers. They came here with a purpose. They selected the meanest, rankest bulls they possibly could. They were intimidating from the first one out.
Yeah, they were, and it's a credit to the contractors for the bulls they bring. They do a good job to keep them like that all year.
Well, they certainly did. Well, I tell you what, Wade, we're back into the State of Origin series tomorrow night. It'll be good to see New South Wales take on Queensland. But you've had a great show here in Sydney, and you can be very, very proud of your achievements. Ladies and gentlemen, he's got a long way back across the Nullarbor to Western Australia. Let's give him some fond memories. He's your first ever Sydney Royal Easter Show. That's Wade McCarthy, our All-Stars Bull Riding Champion this year at the Sydney Royal Easter Show. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that does wrap up the All-Stars Series. We are back underway with rodeo action tomorrow night at 6:30 here in the Spotless Arena. And, of course, that's going to be 6 nights with a State of Origin series between New South Wales and their mighty arch rivals, Queensland. Well, till then, I'll hand you back once again to ring control, my good friends in Angus Lane and Tim Dribblemane to take you through tonight's show. Folks, enjoy it. We look forward to seeing you back in rodeo here tomorrow night.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Morgan. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the voice of rodeo in Australia, Mr. Glenn Morgan. And please stay with us, because tonight, coming up very, very soon, we have wood chopping and chainsaw relay showcase. And then after that, we have the wonderful presentation for Australian Wool Industry Showcase. And then 3 delightful ladies to introduce you and entertain you tonight, Sass. Then the magnificent Extreme Corruption tonight with Mr. Boom, Showtime FMX, Team D-Max, the magnificent Isuzu Utes, Precision Driving Team. We also have the Flair Riders and Fireworks Finale. So, ladies and gentlemen, girls and boys, sit back, relax in the magnificent Spotless Stadium as we bring you some messages from our great sponsors.
Well, well, well. Good evening, Sydney. How are we feeling? Fantastic to hear from you and fantastic to be here. Well, my name's Tommy G, the MC, and guess what, folks? We got a little bit of wood chopping here. Where's the Woodchop fans? I thought you'd say that. Well, what we're going to do tonight, folks, we're going to pit the skills of some of the best wood choppers from Australia and New Zealand right here for you folks this evening. But before we do, I need to find out how much energy you got out there. What do you got in the count of 3? 1, 2, 3, go! That's what I like to see to kick the night off, folks. Here we go. We're going to introduce the two teams to you, a red and a blue team for us. On the blue team, please welcome, on the chainsaw, Mr. William McDonald. No, other side. On the double saw, please welcome Phil Campbell and Tom Wilkinson. On the single saw, Martin Comrick. On the standing block, Stuart Reed. On the underhand this evening, the old mate, Mr. Darryl Howarth. And anchoring the team for blue on the tree felling, folks. Make some noise for Mr. Michael Kellett. There is your blue team. Now for the red team. Folks, make some noise on chainsaw for Anita Jasowski. On the double saw, Susan Coffrey and Margaret Ngasa. On the single saw, Graham Love. At the standing block, Mitchell Argent. On the other hand, Matthew Stratton. And anchoring the team for us on red, folks, please make some noise for Daniel Clissold. Now, for those of you out there who have seen wood chopping before, very, very simple. We have ourselves a relay. As you can see, chainsaw, through double saw, single saw, the underhand, the standing block, and the tree. Now, this is where things get interesting, folks. The guys down here, what they've got to do, they've got to chop their way into the side of the tree here, put a plank in, take them up to the next level to make it up to the block up top. Then once they've done that, come back down, make it up the other side. When these blocks hit the ground, that's when we know we found our winner. So, ladies and gentlemen, I need to know who's on the red team. Not bad, not bad. Who's on the blue team? Well, it's going to be close, folks, because last night there was only toothpicks in it. So, are we ready? Axemen, are we ready? Count them down with me, folks. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Straight away on the chainsaw right now, folks. They've got to cut through this log, make their way back up. When that hits the ground, the other one can go. Blue looking good on the single saw. Single saw away on red. Holding that block there, making sure they're nice and stable. Now this is where the timing and coordination comes into it, folks. These guys are away. On the double saw, it's not necessarily about strength, it's about timing. They want to get that blade back and forward to get a nice even cut. How's red looking? Singles away. It'll all come out in the wash in the end, don't worry about that. We've got the underhand going over here. Red, he's away on the underhand. Come on, folks, make some noise for your team. Flicking wood chips away like absolutely nothing on the other hand. Throwing it down solid. Red team looking good, not too far behind. There's about a matchstick in it at this point. These axes are razor sharp, folks. They're like a hot knife through butter. Almost there with blue. Oh, nothing in it, folks. Look at him. Almost on the standing block. Who's going to have it? Almost there. There we go. Blue is away. Red is away. Ladies and gentlemen, make some noise. Get behind him. Big cuts over here on the red side. Throwing that axe in. Blue looking good. Switching sides. Not only about power and strength, folks, but also about precision. They want to get those cuts in exactly the right spot to make sure they're getting through this thing absolutely flying. Looking good on blue. Change sides on red. Wobbling and all, huge cuts on blue. Almost there. What a cut. We're away on tree felling. Taking it up to level 1. Wobbling over here on red. He's away. Red team's away. Come on, folks, get behind the boys. They're on the home straight now. Almost to level 2 on blue. Now, as you can see here, folks, the guys here have to stand on these planks and throw that axe in. Now, it's hard enough to do it on flat ground. These guys are going to do it up there. It's kind of like a skipping rope on a Malibu surfboard. Oh, top level for blue, coming home with a flyer. Red looking good. Teams are encouraging. Almost on that other side. Big cuts coming from red. Plenty of encouragement for the team. Lactic acid playing a part here. Big breaths coming from blue. He's down. Up the other side. They got to make sure they get these planks in nice and secure, because if that thing's wobbling around, you don't want to be throwing the big axe down. The red's done. Going up for the final time of the tree felling. Come on, folks, bring them home. Nice little strategy move there from red. Throwing it in tight. Second level for blue. Come on, Sydney, get behind them. Boys throwing in those final couple of cuts. Blue looking good. Top level now for red. If he comes home with a fly, he could catch him. Oh, there's not much in this one, folks. Oh, big wood chips flying over there from red. Big cuts. They're both starting to wobble. Who's it going to be first, folks? Is it going to be blue? Is it going to be red? Oh, we're wobbling here. Oh! Ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner. But keep that noise going. Red's going to finish this one off. There it is. Well, well, well. An absolute masterful display of wood chopping right here at Sydney Arena, folks. But of course, this evening, our winner, the blue team. And please put your hands together for all of our wood chop extremists out here for us this evening. Well, the night has only just begun, folks. Guess what? We're going to get crazy out in the center of this ring. Are you ready? I'm so glad you said that, because so am I. We'll see you very soon, folks, with Extreme Corruption.